So our last song is Black Sheep.
First single, last in the EP.
Yeah. The first, so in that regard, also the first fully like edited, mixed, mastered song on the album. And that's, it's really crazy because like I feel like that song, like it was weird because like we had that song for a really long time, so I definitely remember like listening to this one the most of all the stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously people that have knew us for so long, they've also heard the song for so long, so it's kind of like any secrets that are out on it, like there's not much still, so it's gonna be cool to kind of talk about the song a little bit. There's kind of some cool stuff going on with developmental stuff. I wanted to ask first about the guitar riff though, because that riff is super dope, in the verses in particular. Do you remember making that riff?
Yeah, I remember I was at my parents' house in my bedroom, my childhood bedroom, just playing guitar, and that's how I came up with it, really.
Was it like something you had for a long time?
No. Much like you said, like, I've given away a lot of where that song came from over the years, bits and pieces about here and there. And it's just, I was just playing guitar, trying to learn another song, and just this awesome riff came up, and then I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. Recorded it, and then just kept playing it, and then recorded it again on my phone. And then I took it into Logic and kind of made it into a demo.
And then you hit it on the folder.
You hit that fucking demo.
Eventually, yeah.
Oh my god.
We have a Google Drive for the band where we put a bunch of stuff like pictures, videos, demos, sessions, jams. It's all there, different folders, really neatly organized.
Don't DDoS us or hack us, please.
One day, I think you and I were working maybe on some bongo stuff or something like that.
I think weren't we like hashing out the beginnings of like tripods or something?
We were starting to put the folders together, and I think it just...
No. Like the one day we found the song. We were working on something.
We were working on Trial by Fire.
Trial by Fire, okay.
Yeah.
And we were in my room, and after we were done, we went to the drive, just looking at the folders, and we found this folder called Nothing to See Here. And there was a bunch of demos by, Master himself. And there it was. Sick riffs, like a full song, full of energy, like it was so sick, and we just harassed Jake to work on it together and get it done. And said, why would you not show this?
I was so mad.
It was truly like the porn mags of like
That's what it
a
felt
musician,
like.
really.
Under your bed, under
I see this
your
shit like nothing to see here. Like, okay, well I have to click this.
something to
At
see.
the very worst, it's like some butt pics. He just hid for us. Just this folder of just awesomeness.
There was a
bunch
lot of
demos.
stuff there.
Yeah, there were a bunch of demos in there.
There was not much change to the parts, like a couple details I think, or if you recall any big changes.
It's pretty different actually.
Yeah?
We only know because we like recently went back and listened. It's like,
Damn.
yeah, it's pretty different.
I feel like a lot of it's probably like structure, and probably a lot of it is like maybe drum stuff, maybe like rhythmic stuff a little bit, and then like the outro.
I think
Which
the
we'll get to
chorus
later.
has a very different feel with the lead that's going in there. If it was just, I'm pretty sure in the demo it was just like the chord changes.
Yeah,
right?
oh yeah.
And then I added the lead after.
Yep.
And I think it changes a bit the feel of it.
Yeah.
So it was just the rhythm guitar?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
I remember you coming up with that lead, and then I remember I think we were actually here when you came up with the idea to play the lead into.
Oh yeah, coming
The
out of
last-
the riff
yeah,
and sliding
yeah.
it a little bit before.
Oh my god.
Man,
So
every little like change or thing I wanted to try in that song, I was like, oh, he's gonna hate it. He's gonna fucking hate it.
Wow. That's crazy because that's kind of how I felt about the song originally. It's like these guys are not gonna like it. That's why I gotta put it in this folder.
Wow.
It's like It's really weird. And like, I remember I put it up there and I had it there for a while and I was just like, fuck it. These guys aren't gonna like it. Deleted it, took it down, and then I took it to Phil and played it for him. And then he was like, yeah, we can totally do something with this. Let's work on it. I was like, okay. So we were like already like kind of talking about restructuring stuff and changing things. And then I remember driving Weecho somewhere. Him and I were hanging out. And then he was just like I don't remember how we got in the conversation. We were talking about that jam in particular. He was like, I don't remember hearing this. I don't want to hear this. Throw it back up there. And then you guys eventually all heard it again. And then here we are. And I have very early recordings of us jamming it too, like November 2017. Just like
Wow.
a very different time. Our first jams with it, all 5 of us.
Wow. Yeah, that's fucking.
That's
And
crazy.
yeah,
That's
and it gets even crazier. Like all of the changes that we made to it, I'm so grateful for. They're so good.
That song has worked out very well.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Really cool song.
And I think one thing about it that a lot of people, myself included, really enjoyed about it is like in general the vocals in general, but like in particular the Weecho and like call and response going on in the verses. That's really fun.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about
I
that?
think it's something we hadn't tried really before.
Yeah. We've been like, obviously, like Dance Cabin Dance, one of our favorite bands, or my favorite bands anyway, but we were like really into them while we were writing it. And also, I remember like hearing this, like it just has that like, you know, like angsty, like angry kind of feel to it, that riff. So it just made sense for screams. And I didn't really want to like do screams and cleans, so it was just like, let's do like a call and response kind of thing. Like you scream, I sing some cleans. You scream, I sing some cleans, and like it really works.
Yeah, it's really. I love playing that song. Like, I feel so cool doing the screams and plugging playing.
I bet.
It's so sick. And it's something that, like that aspect of like splitting a verse or something like that, screams and cleans, is something we carry on to some other songs going forward for sure.
What about the lyrics?
Yeah, the lyrics. We like. I feel like you wrote your screams, and I wrote my cleans.
Yeah.
I think we had like some switches in some cases, but yeah, we wrote our own stuff, and then
I
wrote the
remember
chorus.
being like in my room, like texting you like back and forth.
Yeah.
How about this? How about that? Well, what about this? Well, what about that? Just for
That was
verse.
cool.
Yeah.
Because I haven't had that experience a lot, like being able to like bounce lyrics off people, because usually people get like weird about lyrics.
Yeah.
They feel like insecure saying a line. And, like when we're writing, like as you know now, like we'll say a lot of lines and it just like it doesn't stick, and like that's okay. Like not everything has to stick, because you might say something that's really just, it's not great, but it like sort of plants this seed to a new idea that's a little bit better, or maybe that one's not so great either, but then you bounce that off into here and you finally found
Yeah, I mean,
the
it's every head, every line works very differently, and like as you said, I can come up with a line that is just not good, but whatever I'm trying to say, or maybe one word from that line is like the spark, like, oh, what about this, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, just being inspired by other people
Yeah.
and their attempts.
You inspire me, man.
Yeah, you inspire me.
That's actually what happens though.
That is the
You say
process of
something else.
collaborating.
Yeah.
So another thing, speaking of like the collaboration, is the screen part, the "we're dying," right? That part has always made me very happy. It's really cool to have it between like everyone. We don't have anything that's screaming where everyone's kind of screaming, but like after another, you kind of get like everyone's different screams. It's really exciting, especially live. We have it like set a certain way. I don't think it's the same way in the recordings, as far as I can remember. I think it's like a different structure slightly than what we do live now. But Doesn't matter. It's fucking sick. It's really exciting. And Jake Screams in particular, I think it's, for one, it's really cool because it was the only ones that weren't recorded at my parents' place. It was recorded here, and you fucking like belted, because you like wanted to redo yours. Like originally you had a different one, and you were like, I want to redo them, and they were like, these ones were insane. Like these were really good screams. So that was a big thing. I was really excited first time.
I really like that section from like an arrangement perspective. I don't know why I like it so much. Like that repeating scream. I just think it's so sick.
Yeah, me too. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. I think we were originally like, I don't know if it was you and I or whoever. I think we were originally talking about like just doing it as like a production thing, like doing it in edit.
Oh yeah,
And then we were just like, why don't we just do it this way?
It just didn't work as well. Like, as much as you have the magic of editing and all these tools to do whatever you want with like sound, actually doing something, it's when you capture the emotion. Like what you were saying of like if I pitch shifted like your vocals instead of actually recording falsetto. First of all, you would be offended. It's like it wouldn't be the same quality to it for sure.
Yeah, no, it's like such a crazy. One last thing that we should mention for sure is the outro. The outro originally was like a whole different thing. It was pretty, like we couldn't, I wouldn't say that we didn't have an outro, but it definitely felt like the wrong thing. And we were definitely still scratching our heads a little bit like, we can do something about this. And we were stuck on it a little bit. From what I remember, like when we were first jamming it out, the first couple weeks, I remember we were like thinking about it, like, it doesn't feel right. Like there's something there we need to do. And like we were thinking of ideas, and like there was like ideas that were good, but they weren't like, it wasn't the one. But then I remember we were acoustic jamming for, I don't know what reason it was for, but it was, we were acoustic jamming. I was playing on the cajon, and then it was Luis on acoustic guitar, Mike was singing it. I don't think you were there for it, or you might have been like there but not like playing. And what happened was, we got to the ending part, and I was like, I don't know, I think I was just like, my hands were fucking raw. I was like, I just want to like slow this down a little bit on the last little part. And it just like, it basically became what this was instead of being like the normal chorus speed. And it just sounded like a fucking really cool outro. It was basically just like a different chorus. And that was really cool. Yeah, it was basically halftime. And Mike like changed his vocal a little bit to go along with it. Like you did it impromptu like I was doing. And it was really fucking exciting. And after that, was it you that had the idea for us doing like the little like oohs and ahs?
Yeah, that was like in the studio. I remember just hearing that like halftime thing. I was hearing something else kind of droning along with it.
Yeah.
Like, I remember just asking ourselves, should we do oohs or ahs? Both. Yeah.
Both.
Yeah.
And I think it works really cool. Like it's such a small like adjustment, but having a different vowel sound, it feels like it's like another change.
Yeah.
It does add to the whole feel of that section.
And it sounds like really cool live too. I think it's almost better live, that particular part. It's really cool. Watch it on.
Yeah,
I really love like that how it sounds in the recording.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's balanced.
It's a good moment live.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I should say. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good moment. Especially because now that we're doing it, our sets currently how we are, we have Black Sheep as our last song on that set, and then we move it, or we switch over to the
The E standard.
E standard,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, when we play live, as we mentioned before, that we don't want to be tuning a lot or switching back and forth between guitars, so we play all of our songs in the same tuning, then we switch guitars once to the next tuning.
Yeah, Black Sheep is that transition over. So I think it's a good song to transition over to as well. It has that vibe.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I remember many synchronicities with this song, much like FPL. Like listening to Out of Step by Minor Threat, and like the album cover for that is a black sheep. And there was a black sheep associated with ABR. Tenacious D.
Oh yeah.
All while talking about titling this song and stuff, and we came up with that. You guys came up with that title completely
Well, we came up
apart
with
from
it.
me, and I was like, well, okay, that just makes sense. That just fits.
Black Sheep. It was like, cause like the whole song is about basically like fuck religion, churches, like cover your ears to hear the truth. Like
Yeah.
just listen to yourself.
Yeah.
And, like you can be spiritual, like within your own world. Like you don't need to be going to churches and believing in these weird like I'm this and if you're that then we're enemies. Like,
Right.
it's just all so strange.
But once you become that person, like a free-thinking person, then you become a black sheep in the eyes of all
Exactly.
these institutions.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you know, you're agnostic or you're atheist and you're a black sheep.
Yeah.